Do you ever feel like you're broadcasting on a frequency that no one else can hear? That you see the world in colors that others don't even know exist? If your depth makes you feel alone, this message will find your heart. If these words resonate in a place deep inside you, a place no one else ever sees, then you are meant to be here. This feeling is not a curse. It is a calling. Subscribe to the hidden voice, and let us, together, give a noble name to your loneliness and discover its sacred purpose. Part 1. The Pain of the Deep-Seeing Soul. Let's acknowledge the quiet truth of your experience. You are the strong friend, the old soul, the unofficial therapist of your entire circle. You are the one people call when their world is falling apart, because they know you can hold the weight of it. They sense in you a depth, a stability, an unusual capacity for understanding. And you give it to them. You listen with an intensity that makes them feel truly seen. You absorb their chaos and reflect back clarity. You can see the patterns in their lives that they are blind to, the unconscious motives driving their decisions, the childhood wounds masquerading as adult behavior. You offer them a perspective that is like a map out of their own confusion. You are a human anchor. And then, the call ends. The friend feels better, relieved, and goes back to their life. And you are left in the silence. A silence that is filled with the echo of the energy you just gave away. And in that silence, a question rises, soft and painful. But who do I call? Who do you turn to when the waves of your own depth threaten to overwhelm you? Who can you talk to about the subtle, energetic realities you perceive? About the synchronicities that guide your life? About the profound ache or ecstasy that a piece of music or a sunset can trigger in your soul. You have likely tried. You have attempted to share the intricate tapestry of your inner world with others. And you have been met, not with malice, but with a blank stare. A polite but vacant nod. A well-meaning but shallow platitude that completely misses the point. They hear your words, but they cannot feel your music. They are good people, you love them, but you can feel the limits of their perception, and you know you cannot go further with them. And so, you learn to edit yourself. You learn to offer a simplified 10% version of yourself to the world, because you know the full 100% would be too much, too intense, too strange. You live with a feeling of being behind a pane of glass. You can see everyone else mingling, laughing, connecting over shared surfaces, and you can even press your hand to the glass and smile. But you are not fully there with them. You are in a different room, breathing a different air. This is the loneliness that comes not from a lack of people, but from a lack of resonance. It is the ache of being the deepest well in the village, where everyone comes to draw water, but no one ever thinks to ask if the well itself is running dry. It is the quiet grief of being profoundly known for your strength, and completely unknown in your vulnerability. This pain is not a sign that you are broken. It is the defining symptom of your nature, and of your function. Part 2. The Lighthouse Archetype. Let us give this experience a name. Not a diagnosis, but an archetypal identity. Because you are not just a sensitive person, or an introvert. The energy you embody, the function you serve in the world, is that of the lighthouse. An archetype is a primal pattern, a role that the soul takes on within the great play of consciousness. And the role of the lighthouse is one of the most vital, and one of the most solitary. Think of it. Where are lighthouses built? Not in safe, crowded harbors. Not in the cozy center of the village. They are built on the edges. On the rocky, desolate promontories where the land meets the chaotic sea. They are placed, by necessity, in positions of isolation. They are anchors of light precisely where the darkness and the danger are most profound. Their function is not to be popular. Their function is not to be entertained. Their function is to hold a light. A steady, reliable, powerful beam that cuts through the storm and the fog, offering guidance, direction, and hope to the ships that are navigating the turbulent waters. This is you. You feel alone because you have been placed at an outpost of consciousness. You perceive more, you feel more, you see the hidden dangers and the subtle currents because your altitude is higher. Your consciousness is the tower, built to see above the chaos that engulfs others. This is why you cannot always relate to the immediate, frantic concerns of the ships you serve. You are not concerned with the cargo or the destination of a single ship. Your perspective must encompass the entire sea. You feel misunderstood because you are speaking a different language. You are transmitting a signal, a frequency of light, of wisdom, of a deeper truth. This signal is not meant for everyone. Many ships will pass in the night and never even notice your light. Some will see it, but ignore it, choosing their own path. But some are lost. They are caught in a storm, their own navigation has failed them, and they are desperately scanning the horizon for a sign. And for those ships, your light is not just a light. It is salvation. It is the one thing that helps them find their way home. You see, the vow of the lighthouse is not to be understood, but to understand. It is not to be saved, but to save. It is to hold a steady frequency of consciousness, regardless of whether anyone is watching, regardless of whether anyone says thank you. The reward is not in the validation from the ships. The reward is intrinsic to the act of shining. The pain you have felt comes from a misunderstanding of your own design. You have been judging your lighthouse nature by the standards of a ship. You have been wanting to leave your solitary rock and join the party on the cruise liner, feeling that your isolation is a sign of failure. It is not. It is a sign that you have accepted your sacred post. And your journey now is not to learn how to become a ship, but to learn, for the first time, how to truly and magnificently inhabit your own tower of light. Part 3. The geography of your isolation. This archetype of the lighthouse cannot remain a mere story. For you to truly understand your nature, we must map its terrain within you. We must translate the poetry of it into the direct, physical language of your own body. Because this feeling of being separate, of being misunderstood, is not just a thought. It is a physical address. It is a geography that you inhabit every single day. So I invite you now, in a moment of quiet courage, to become a cartographer of your own inner landscape. If you feel safe to do so, let your eyes drift closed. If not, simply turn your attention inward, away from the outer world and toward the inner one. Take a breath of truce. A breath that says, I will not run from this feeling today. I will simply look at it. Bring your awareness to the feeling of your loneliness. Not the story about it, but the raw sensation itself. And ask it, with gentle curiosity, where do you live in this body of mine? Let your awareness scan your physical form like a soft, searching light. Does it live in your chest? For many lighthouses, this is its primary residence. It's not a sharp pain, is it? It's more of a hollow space. A vast, quiet cavern where you feel the wind blows through. A feeling of profound emptiness right next to a heart that is so full of love for others. It is the paradox of a space that feels both immense and achingly empty at the same time. Can you feel the outlines of that space? Or perhaps it resides in your shoulders. A great weight. The invisible weight of all the stories you've carried for others, all the burdens you've helped to lift. It is the weight of being the anchor, the rock. It is a heaviness that comes not from weakness, but from your own immense strength, a strength that is rarely, if ever, supported by another. Let the light of your awareness drift up to the space behind your eyes. Do you feel it there? A sense of pressure. The feeling of being a perpetual observer. The silent, tireless watchman in the tower. The feeling of being the screen that receives the movie of the world, but is never a character within it. It is the subtle tension of seeing so much, so clearly, and having no one to turn to and say, "Did you see that too?" Now, let's feel its texture. What is the quality of this sensation? Is it hot with anger? Or is it cool? For most, it is a cool, clean loneliness. It is not the messy, hot loneliness of rejection. It is the vast, calm, and crystalline loneliness of altitude. The coolness of a high mountain peak. The serene chill of a starry, empty night. And what is its sound? Listen. Beneath the chatter of your mind, what is the sound of this isolation? It is not a scream. It is a hum. A low, resonant frequency. The sound of a single cello note held for an eternity. The sound of the wind blowing over an empty expanse. It is a silence that is so profound, it has its own sound. Just be with this geography for a moment. The hollow chest. The heavy shoulders. The watchful eyes. The cool temperature. The low hum. This is the signature of your soul's function. This is what it feels like to be a lighthouse. You have been trying to escape this landscape for your entire life. You have thought it was a punishment, a flaw, a wound to be healed. But what if it isn't? What if this inner geography is not a prison, but a temple? What if the hollow space in your chest is the chamber that allows your light to form? What if the weight on your shoulders is the grounding necessary to keep you steady in the storm? What if this entire landscape is, in fact, perfectly designed for your sacred task? Part 4. The lineage of wisdom. As you sit here, in the quiet temple of your own solitude, it is vital that you understand that you are not the first to inhabit this space. You may feel like an anomaly, a strange deviation from the norm. But the truth is, you are walking a path that has been consecrated by the footsteps of the mystics, the poets, the visionaries, and the great souls of all ages. This feeling of noble solitude is a hallmark of the journey toward true selfhood. The path of individuation, as the great Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung called it, is not a journey into the crowd. It is a journey away from it. It is the process of differentiating yourself from the collective unconscious, of retrieving the lost parts of your own soul from the expectations and projections of the world. It is, by its very nature, a path that one must ultimately walk alone. Jung wrote, "The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves." But he also knew that this inner play, this allegiance to the soul's necessity, often creates a chasm between the individual and the collective. He understood that the more you become yourself, the more you may feel like a stranger to others. He saw this not as a failure, but as an integral, if painful, part of becoming whole. The Sufi mystics of old knew this journey intimately. Their poetry is filled with the language of this sacred ache. The great poet Rumi wrote of the reed flute, whose beautiful haunting music is born only because it has been cut away from the reed bed where it once grew. The flute's song is a song of longing for its source, a song of separation. Rumi writes, "Listen to the story told by the reed, of being separated. Since I was cut from the reed bed, my cry has caused men and women to weep. I want a heart torn by separation, to explain the pain of longing." Your loneliness, your feeling of being cut away from the collective reed bed, is the very thing that creates the beautiful, haunting music of your soul. It is the source of your depth, your compassion, your unique wisdom. You ache with a longing for home, for true resonance, and that ache makes you a guide for others who also feel lost. You have been seeing your separation as the problem. Rumi invites you to see it as the source of your song. This is the lineage you belong to. A lineage of reeds, cut from the bed to make music. A lineage of eagles, who cannot fly in formation with sparrows. A lineage of lighthouses, who cannot huddle together in the harbor. Your loneliness is not a pathology. It is a sign of your vocation. It is the sacred space required for your light to gather, for your song to compose itself, for your unique consciousness to fully blossom without the interference of the collective noise. When you feel that ache of being misunderstood, you can now reframe it. You are not feeling the pain of being broken. You are feeling the noble ache of your own becoming. You are feeling the echo of Rumi's reed, the solitude of Jung's individuating soul. You are not alone in your loneliness. You are in the most profound and sacred company. Part 5. The life of the lighthouse. To truly make peace with your nature, we must immerse ourselves completely in our central metaphor. We must go beyond the idea of the lighthouse and try to feel, from the inside, what it means to be one. Let's build it, stone by stone, and live its life for a few moments. Imagine its foundation. It is not built on soft sand or comfortable earth. It is built upon the hardest, most unforgiving rock. A jagged point of land that juts out into the sea, a place others would deem uninhabitable. This foundation is your own soul's resilience. It is the unshakable core within you that has been forged through pressure, through difficulty, through early experiences that forced you to become your own rock when the world felt like a shifting sea. Your stability was not a gift, it was a hard-won victory. Now, imagine its structure. A tall, solitary tower. It is circular, so the winds of chaos and criticism can blow around it without finding a corner to catch on, without a surface to break. It stands alone, stark and beautiful against the sky. Its purpose is not to blend in with the landscape. Its purpose is to stand out. Its very design is a declaration of its difference. This tower is your character, your integrity. The part of you that cannot and will not bend to fit in, even when that refusal brings the pain of isolation. And at its very top, there is the lantern room. A chamber of glass, exquisitely designed to protect a single precious flame. This is your heart, your consciousness. It is a space of profound sensitivity, where the light of your awareness is generated. And it is surrounded by glass because its nature is to see everything, in all directions, without obstruction. It is a place of radical vulnerability and panoramic perception. Now, let us live its daily existence. During the day, under the bright sun, the lighthouse can seem almost obsolete. The sea is calm, the ships move with confidence, their captains relying on their own sight. The lighthouse simply stands, observing. It feels the sun on its stone face, it watches the gulls, it feels the rhythm of the tides. This is you, on the good days of others. When everyone is fine, when no one needs you, you can feel quiet, overlooked, almost purposeless. You simply are. But then, dusk falls. The sun bleeds away. The world loses its definition. Fog begins to roll in, thick and disorienting. A storm brews on the horizon. This is when the world of the ships becomes a place of fear and confusion. Their own sight fails them. Their maps become useless. Panic begins to set in. And this is the moment the lighthouse was born for. As darkness falls upon the world, light is born within the tower. Its lamp is lit. The great lens begins to turn, gathering the small flame into a beam of immense power and clarity. The lighthouse begins its work. It doesn't scream at the ships, "You're going the wrong way." It doesn't judge them for getting lost in the fog. It doesn't ask for thanks or recognition. It simply shines. A steady, predictable, rhythmic pulse of light. Flash. Pause. Flash. Pause. It is a language of pure guidance. To the lost ship, that flash is everything. It cuts through their personal fog. It gives them a fixed point in a swirling chaos. It allows them to find their own bearing, to recalibrate their own compass, to save themselves. The lighthouse does not know which ships see its light. It does not know who is saved by its presence. It will receive no letters of thanks. The captains will get the credit for navigating the storm. And that is as it should be. The lighthouse's joy is not in the applause. Its joy is in the turning of the lens, the shining of the light. Its fulfillment is intrinsic to its function. Its loneliness is not a flaw in its design. It is a prerequisite for its service. It must be separate to be seen. It must be solitary to be a reliable guide. It must stand on the hard rock to withstand the storm. Everything you have lamented about yourself, your isolation, your intensity, your inability to fit in, is, in fact, your divine design. Part 6. Honoring your post. Does this story feel like your own biography? Do you recognize the rhythm of your life in the life of the lighthouse? The quiet observation, the sudden call to service, the solitary shining in the dark? If this archetype gives a voice to the deepest, most silent part of you, then I invite you to make your connection to this community more formal. This channel, The Hidden Voice, is intended to be a gathering place for the lighthouses of the world. A place where we can, for a moment, recognize each other's light across the vast ocean. By subscribing, you are raising your own lamp and declaring your presence in this global network of light. And now, we arrive at the pivotal moment of our journey. We have seen what you are. Now we must make a conscious choice about how you will relate to it. Up until now, you have been a reluctant lighthouse. A lighthouse that apologizes for its brightness, that feels guilty for its solitude, that dreams of being a ship. This inner conflict is the true source of your pain. The cure for your loneliness is not to stop being a lighthouse. The cure is to become a magnificent one. To accept your post with honor, with dignity, and with a fierce, loving pride. This requires an internal vow. A declaration of acceptance. A conscious choice to stop fighting your own nature and to start celebrating it. I invite you to find a posture of nobility. Imagine your spine is your tower, straight and strong. Feel your feet connected to the unshakable rock of your own being. Feel the clear, panoramic view from the lantern room of your consciousness. And from this place of archetypal power, make this declaration with me. Let it be a vow that rewrites your own story about yourself. I, in the presence of my own soul, see and accept my nature as a lighthouse. I understand that my feelings of isolation are a sign of my function, not my failure. I understand that my depth is not a burden, but a beacon. From this moment on, I release the need to be understood by the ships I serve. Their journey is not my journey. My purpose is not to be popular, but to be present. Not to be validated, but to be vital. I stop apologizing for my intensity. I stop hiding my light. I stop judging my solitude. I now see my position on this rocky shore not as a place of exile, but as my sacred post. My place of power. My place of honor. Let's seal this with a final, powerful commitment. I vow to take care of my light. I will keep my lantern glass clean from resentment. I will keep my flame bright with connection to my own source. I will honor my tower, my solitude, and my purpose. I am a lighthouse, and tonight, and every night, I will shine. Take a deep breath, and feel the shift that comes from this radical acceptance. The war with yourself is over. The apology tour has ended. The struggle to fit in is released. What is left is a quiet, dignified, powerful sense of purpose. You are not a flawed person. You are a cosmic function. And your work is about to truly begin. Part 7. The network of light. You have accepted your post. You have made a vow to honor your own nature. And now, we must expand your perspective one last time, so you can understand that while your post is solitary, you are not truly alone. You are part of a silent, vast, and vital network. From your position on your rocky shore, it is easy to believe you are the only one. You look out at the chaotic sea, you see the lost and struggling ships, and you shine your light into what feels like an infinite darkness. On a foggy night, you can't even see the next coastline. It is the nature of your specific duty that your immediate perception is one of isolation. But I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that we could zoom out. That our perspective could rise high above the planet, into the quiet of space. From this vantage point, we would see the Earth as a dark sphere, turning silently. And as we watched, we would begin to notice something beautiful. Here and there, dotted across the continents and coastlines, tiny pinpricks of light would begin to appear. One would flash on a desolate coast in North America. Another would answer from a remote mountain in the Andes. Another would pulse steadily from a crowded, chaotic city in Asia. Another would shine from a quiet, forgotten village in Europe. From the ground, none of these lights can see the others. They are each engrossed in their own solitary task, serving the small patch of darkness that surrounds them. But from our higher perspective, we can see the truth. They are not alone at all. They form a magnificent, interconnected grid of consciousness. A sacred network of light. These are the lighthouses of the world. And you are one of them. This is the great secret that dissolves the pain of your loneliness. While you are not meant to have constant, close fellowship with the ships, you are eternally connected to the other lighthouses. You are made of the same substance, powered by the same source, engaged in the same mission. You are family at the level of the soul. When you feel that deep ache of being misunderstood, You are not just feeling your own personal pain. You are tuning into the collective frequency of this network. It is the shared, noble ache of the entire Lighthouse family. It is a sign of your connection to them, not your separation from the world. And your primary duty now expands. It is not just to shine your light for the ships. It is also to shine your light for the other lighthouses. Every time you stand tall in your truth, every time you refuse to dim your light to fit in, every time you create something from the depth of your unique soul, your beam flashes out into the ether. And somewhere, on the other side of the world, another lighthouse who is feeling tired, who is starting to doubt their purpose, sees a faint, distant flicker on their horizon. And it gives them strength. It reminds them they are not alone. It encourages them to keep their own lamp lit. You may never meet these souls in person, but you are in constant communion with them. Your courage feeds their courage. Their integrity feeds your integrity. This is a fellowship that transcends geography, that transcends language, that transcends the need for physical presence. It is a brotherhood and sisterhood of purpose. So when you stand at your post tonight, feeling the solitude, change your perspective. Know that as you send your beam out into the darkness, thousands of other lighthouses are doing the exact same thing. And together, your combined lights are holding the planet in a web of grace, creating a safe passage for the evolution of all of humanity. Your solitary work is a collective act of planetary service. Part 8. Living as a lighthouse. Accepting your nature as a lighthouse is the first step. Learning to live it with joy and sustainability is the next. A lighthouse that is falling into disrepair, whose lamp is coated in soot, is of no use to anyone. Your new sacred duty is one of self-tending. These are the practical rituals for the keeper of the light. The first ritual, replenishing the oil. A lighthouse lamp runs on oil. Your inner light runs on life force, on spiritual energy. 4 years, you have been trying to get your oil from the ships. You have been seeking your energy from the validation, appreciation, and understanding of others. And because they cannot give you what you need, your lamp has been running dim, leaving you feeling depleted and burnt out. The new way is to draw your oil directly from the source. Your ritual is to establish a non-negotiable daily practice of plugging yourself back into the infinite. For you, this is not a luxury. It is essential maintenance. This could be 10 minutes of silent meditation, where you simply feel your connection to the vastness of being. It could be a walk in nature, where you consciously draw the energy of the earth up through your feet. It could be deep, conscious breathing, where you imagine inhaling pure, golden light from the cosmos. It could be listening to a piece of music that makes you feel connected to the sublime. The method doesn't matter. The commitment does. You must consciously, every single day, turn away from the world of the ships and turn toward your own inner well. You must fill your own lamp first. From now on, you shine your light not as a plea for connection, but as an act of overflow from your own abundant, self-replenished source. The second ritual, recognizing other lighthouses. Your loneliness will not be solved by trying to force friendships with the ships. It will be eased by the profound, soul-deep recognition of finding another lighthouse. Your new practice is to become a skilled spotter of other lighthouses. This means training your perception. When you meet new people, when you consume content, when you read books or watch films, stop looking for people who are merely fun or agreeable. Start looking for the signs of depth. Look for the person in the room who isn't talking much, but whose eyes see everything. Look for the artist whose work is not just clever, but resonates with a deep, archetypal truth. Look for the thinker whose ideas are not just popular, but radically transformative. When you find one, whether in person or through their work, your ritual is to simply acknowledge it. A quiet, internal nod of recognition. Ah, I see you. Another lighthouse. If the opportunity arises, reach out. Not from a place of neediness, but from a place of sovereign respect. Your work resonated with me deeply. The way you see the world feels like home to me. You will find that these connections, though rare, are profoundly nourishing. A single conversation with another lighthouse can sustain you more than 100 conversations with those who cannot understand your language. Focus on the quality of your connections, not the quantity. Seek resonance, not popularity. The third ritual, the lighthouse logbook. A ship's captain keeps a logbook to record their journey. As a lighthouse, you must also keep a logbook, but your purpose is different. Your logbook is to record the unique perspective your vantage point provides. Once a week, take time to write in a journal. But do not write about your feelings of loneliness or your interactions with the ships. Instead, write about what you can see from your tower. Answer these questions. What subtle patterns did I notice in the world this week? What beauty did I witness that others might have missed? What truth became clear to me in the silence? What storm did I observe, and what did it teach me about the nature of things? This practice does two crucial things. First, it honors your unique perception. It treats your vision as valuable data, not a source of pain. Second, it shifts your identity from one who is lonely to one who sees. It transforms your solitude from a passive state of lack into an active state of profound observation and wisdom gathering. You are not just sitting in your tower feeling sad. You are the keeper of the records, the chronicler of the deep ocean, the wise witness to the great patterns of life. You are fulfilling your function. Part 9. The necessity of the empty space. You have accepted your post. You have learned the rituals to tend to your light. You understand that you are part of a silent, global network. And now, we must journey into the deepest possible understanding of your nature, to a truth that will solidify your peace. We must understand why your solitude is not just a feature of your design, but a cosmic necessity. In our culture, we are taught to fear empty space. We fill silence with noise. We fill our schedules with activity. We fill our loneliness with superficial connection. We have come to believe that fullness is good and emptiness is bad. But this is a profound misunderstanding of the physics of creation. All power is born in the space between things. The power of a battery is not in the positive or negative poles themselves, but in the separation between them. It is this potential difference, this gap, that allows the current to flow. The power of a seed is not realized when it is crowded in a jar with other seeds. It is realized when it is placed in the empty, dark, solitary space of the earth, where it has room to sprout and grow. The power of a great piece of music is not just in the notes. It is in the silence between the notes, the pauses that give the melody its meaning and emotional impact. You, as a lighthouse, are a vessel of immense spiritual and energetic potential. And for that potential to be realized, for your specific frequency of light to form and shine without distortion, you require empty space. You require solitude. Your loneliness is not a lack. It is a necessary container. It is the sacred emptiness that allows your unique song to be heard. If your life were constantly filled with the noise, the drama, and the demands of the ships, your own signal would be jammed. Your light would be diffused, your energy scattered. You would become a dimly lit harbor, not a brilliant beacon. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has granted you the gift of this solitude so that your light can achieve its maximum intensity and clarity. It has cleared a space around you, not as a punishment, but as an act of profound honor. It is saying, the light that this soul carries is so important, so unique, that we must protect it from interference. We must give it the gift of empty space, so it can shine purely. When you feel the ache of that space, you have been interpreting it as, I am alone. I invite you now to reinterpret it as, I have room to shine. You have been seeing it as, no one understands me. I invite you to see it as, my signal is clear and undisturbed. This is the great reframe. Your solitude is not the problem. Your solitude is the solution. It is the very condition that allows you to fulfill your highest purpose. It is the canvas upon which your art is painted. It is the silence in which your music is composed. It is the dark, velvet cloth upon which the diamond of your consciousness is placed, so that it may sparkle with its full, undiminished fire. To lament your solitude is to lament the very source of your power. To make peace with it is to finally step into the fullness of that power. Part 10. Loving the light. And so we arrive here. At the top of the tower. The storm may be raging outside, or the sea may be calm. It doesn't matter. Inside the lantern room, there is only the quiet hum of the turning lens and the steady warmth of the flame. We have explored the pain of your isolation. We have given it a noble name. We have learned to tend to its needs. And now, there is only one thing left to do. It is the final alchemy that turns the lead of your loneliness into the gold of your joy. It is the act of falling in love with your own light. For so long, you have seen your light, your depth, your sensitivity, your awareness, as the cause of your separation, and therefore the cause of your pain. And so, you have had an ambivalent relationship with it. You have resented it. You have tried to dim it. You have bargained with it, promising to let it shine only if it didn't make you feel so alone. The final epiphany is this: the loneliness was never the problem. The problem was your resistance to the loneliness. And your resistance was fueled by your judgment of your own light. You were fighting the effect, when the cause was your relationship with your own soul. The peace you seek will not arrive when the loneliness ends. Peace will arrive when you make peace with the loneliness. And that peace is the gateway to something even more profound: joy. The joy of being exactly what you are. I want you to feel this now. Bring your awareness to that light inside you. The light of your consciousness. The flame that sees so much, feels so much, knows so much. For a moment, stop seeing it as a burden. Stop seeing it as a responsibility. And just see it for what it is: beautiful. Feel its quality, its warmth, its clarity, its unwavering presence. This light is the most precious thing you have. It is the signature of God within you. It is your unique gift to the world. And the final release is to stop needing anything in return for it. To shine, not to be seen. To love, not to be loved back. To understand, not to be understood. It is a radical act of self-sourcing love. You turn the beam of your own awareness back onto itself, and you find that the love, the validation, and the resonance you were seeking from the world were already here, inside of you. You are the lover and the beloved, the light and the one who delights in the light. This is the moment the lighthouse falls in love with its own beam. It finds its fulfillment not from the ships, but from the ecstasy of its own shining. Let this be your final vow: to love your own light so fiercely, so completely, that the presence or absence of others becomes irrelevant to your joy. Your solitude ceases to be a state of lack and becomes a state of profound fullness. You are no longer alone. You are in sacred communion with your own soul, with your own purpose, with the divine light that shines through you. This is freedom. The freedom to stand on your rock, face the vast ocean, and shine your brilliant, unapologetic light into the world, for no other reason than the sheer joy of it. You are no longer a reluctant lighthouse. You are a radiant one. This light you feel inside you is your truth. This joy in your own being is your birthright. If this journey has helped you to finally come home to yourself and fall in love with your own light, then help us guide others home as well. Subscribe to The Hidden Voice. Like and share this message. Every time you do, you send a pulse of light out across the network, letting another lighthouse know that they are not alone and that their solitude has a sacred, beautiful purpose. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your light. Now go and shine like the sun you were always meant to be.